wet washcloth, no soap, 3 minutes, absolute maximum.
It's literally a biological crime scene.
Right. And then, after wiping down roughly 4 zones of his body with just like tepid tap water, this grown man folds himself into the pristine sheets of a marital bed.
The sheer audacity to bypass the fundamental chemistry of lather, like to reject the entire concept of soap, breaking down dirt,
Yeah.
and then slide next to your brand new spouse, it is unhinged.
Babes, welcome back. We love you, we see you. And honestly, watching strangers get married at first sight somehow feels way less stressful than trying to keep our own lives organized this week.
Oh, absolutely. Which is exactly why I am your sarcastic, analytical reality checker, and I am here to tell you that half these marriages could be saved with one honest conversation and a shared Google Calendar.
And I am your emotional, chaotic bestie who still believes love can happen in unexpected ways, but I also want everyone to communicate better.
Well, we are doing a deep dive into this week's source material, and let me tell you, I am spiraling.
Oh, we have to discuss. But first, to the Snark Squad listening, I need you to know we have strawberry shortcake cocktails flowing tonight.
Because tonight is giving very cozy, chaotic summer dessert energy.
Yes, toast to surviving another week. But wait, we have to talk about the strawberry shortcake obsession because I decided I needed this dessert immediately earlier today.
And we immediately spiraled into the eternal debate.
Okay, yes, because there is a right answer. For a proper strawberry shortcake, are you team biscuits, cake, or angel food?
It is mathematically cake. It has to be cake. I will defend the structural integrity of a good sponge cake until my dying breath.
No, absolutely not. Biscuits provide that comforting, heavy nostalgia. It absorbs the strawberry juice perfectly.
A biscuit is too dense, it turns into a brick. Cake absorbs the juice while maintaining a fluffy matrix.
Okay, well, we can at least agree that whipped cream counts as its own food group, right?
Oh, 100%. I would eat it out of a bowl with a spoon.
Totally. And there is just something about homemade desserts. They always feel so much more comforting than those fancy plated restaurant desserts.
Oh, I would absolutely choose a messy, homemade strawberry shortcake over a 5-star, meticulously plated dessert any day.
Any day of the week, which kind of transitions into my other culinary adventure this week. The sourdough era continues.
Oh boy. Are we still pretending we are artisanal bakers?
Hey, I baked a jalapeno cheddar sourdough.
Yep.
Okay. I fed my starter, I folded the dough. I basically felt like a professional pastry chef.
Adding cheese and peppers to flour and water does not automatically make you artisanal, but I love this delusion for you.
It is a full personality trait now, but the stress of waiting for that dough to rise, it is genuinely terrible. You're just staring at it, like, hoping the yeast is alive.
It sounds exhausting.
But the euphoric moment when you finally cut into the baked loaf and hear that perfect crackling crunch, oh my God, unmatched.
See, I prefer my stress to come from other people's messy relationships, not from yeast. Which reminds me, we tried to alleviate our stress at the spa this week, and that was its own disaster.
Oh my gosh, the spa day chaos. So, listeners, we walk into this luxury spa deeply determined to be calm and zen.
Right, because we put on those heavy, plush robes that instantly make you feel like you belong in a higher tax bracket.
Exactly. And we are trying to whisper respectfully, sipping our little cucumber waters, basically levitating in the eucalyptus steam room.
Total acoustic tranquility.
And then out of nowhere, across this silent relaxation lounge, someone just aggressively yells my name.
It was startling. I literally watched your soul leave your body.
I went into immediate fight or flight panic mode. Because when you are in a quiet, safe environment, your brain cannot compute a sudden loud noise.
You were spiraling.
I was sitting there wondering what kind of catastrophic emergency could possibly breach a spa.
And of course, it was completely harmless. Just an acquaintance saying a very loud hello.
But the damage was gone. My nervous system was totally hijacked, the zen was gone, and I felt jittery for the rest of the day.
Which is honestly the perfect metaphor for today's recap.
Yeah.
Because these couples are getting their nervous systems hijacked left and right.
Exactly. So, babes, enough about our desserts, our sourdough delusions, and our spa-induced panic attacks. Let's get into Married at First Sight, where the couples are trying to find love while we're just trying not to get startled in a relaxation lounge.
So we are officially in the honeymoon to home transition phase. They are moving into those gorgeous Seattle corner apartments.
Oh, the Peacock budget is really showing this season. Those high-rises are stunning.
They really are. And let's start with our palate cleanser couple, Michelle and Cameron.
Yes, the control group. Okay, so the scene is them in their new kitchen, and Michelle is trying to cut cucumbers as his sous chef.
And it is a struggle. She is giving Major Kendall Jenner Cutting a cucumber vibes.
She really was, like, holding the knife so awkwardly,
Yeah.
slicing them an inch thick. But I loved how Cameron handled it.
Yeah, he didn't make a sarcastic comment or try to take the knife away to assert dominance.
Right. He was just so calm and supportive. And then he said something that I thought was such a massive green flag.
The travel day comment.
Yes. They had just endured a grueling 13-hour travel day back from the honeymoon, which is like the ultimate relationship stress test.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone is sweaty, annoyed, and dehydrated.
But he literally said that even during that nightmare travel day, he enjoyed every single minute of it because he was with her. He is catching major feelings.
See, I hear that, and my cynical brain immediately thinks, is he just performing for the cameras? Like, a 13-hour travel day is miserable. No one enjoys it.
No, I think he was being genuine. You could see it in his eyes, and it really showed during their serious talk on the couch.
Right, the medical conversation.
Yeah, Michelle opened up about having fibroids and how it could potentially cause fertility issues. That is such a vulnerable, heavy thing to drop on a stranger you just married.
It is a massive risk.
Yeah.
She was clearly bracing for rejection.
Or for, like, toxic positivity. But Cameron's response was incredible. He didn't panic. He just maturely said that adoption is a completely viable, beautiful option.
Which was definitely a solid response. It shows emotional maturity. But here's my hot take.
Oh, boy.
They are the only normal couple, which makes them objectively terrible reality TV. They are so boring.
Jay, no, they are the ultimate goals. We need one couple to root for so we don't lose all faith in humanity.
I mean, sure, it's nice, but I want chaos. And speaking of chaos, we have to talk about Adam and Marissa.
Oh, my God. The serial killer cabin. I am still physically unwell from looking at his living situation.
It was a visual horror show. The man took his new bride to a rundown shack by a lake.
There were literal blue plastic tarps covering the roof and bed sheets nailed over the windows instead of curtains.
Let's not forget the makeshift closet rack situated mere inches from the washer and dryer.
And the ice picks hanging from the ceiling. Marissa actually said it was giving serial killer vibes, and she was not wrong.
It screams instability. If you can't be bothered to buy actual curtains, how are you going to manage a marriage?
And he was so completely oblivious to how horrifying it looked. He didn't even apologize for the mess. Instead, he just forces her immediately out onto his jet skis.
Because the jet skis are his true children.
Literally. He is driving so erratically and so fast, and she is on the back screaming for her absolute life.
It is a total lack of empathy. He's having fun, so he assumes she must be having fun.
Yeah.
Completely ignoring the fact that she is terrified.
Well, and it gets worse, because then we get to the cat situation.
Oh, the cat.
Marissa is medically allergic to his cat. It is a biological fact. And Adam just flat out insists the cat stays. Zero compromise.
He essentially prioritized his pet's living arrangements over his wife's ability to breathe oxygen.
It is so selfish. How are you going to marry someone and then tell them to just suffer through an allergic reaction in a tarp-covered shack?
It's early boundary setting, but in the most toxic way possible. He wants her to fit into his life without changing a single thing about his own.
Exactly. Okay, but if we want to talk about heavy emotional baggage, we have to move to Belle and Mecca and what I am calling the trauma bond dinner.
This scene was a lot. Mecca is in the kitchen, taking an absolute eternity to cook a piece of salmon.
Right, he was meticulously seasoning it like he's Salt Bae or something. But the conversation they were having was so heavy.
They just fully unpacked generations of family trauma over some slow-cooked fish.
Mecca starts it by admitting he isn't a hopeless romantic, and he blames it entirely on his mommy issues.
Which is valid, considering his mother left him when he was a baby, and he didn't see her again until he was 21.
A 16-year gap? That is heartbreaking. It completely wires your brain to expect abandonment.
Right. His neural pathways for trust are basically non-existent.
Right.
But then Belle shares her story, and it somehow tops his.
Belle's story made me want to cry. She didn't know her dad growing up, and she finally finds him on Facebook when she's 20.
And she reaches out, just wanting a basic human connection.
Yes, and his response is to demand a 99% DNA test before he will even have a conversation with her.
A clinical, immediate wall.
But she takes it. She proves she is his daughter, and she offers him a completely fresh start. She says she doesn't care about the past.
And his response to her offering grace was the coldest thing I have ever heard. He said, quote, "That's so considerate of you."
It was chilling, especially because Belle revealed that those were the exact same words he used 20 years ago when her mom told him she was keeping the baby.
It is weaponized attachment. He used the same corporate speak to dismiss both the mother and the daughter.
It is so devastating, but Belle is so resilient. I think her positivity in the face of all that darkness is just beautiful.
It is beautiful, but Mecca's reaction to her vulnerability is a massive walking red flag.
You mean when he friend-zoned her?
Yes. After she shares this deeply traumatic story, they're sitting there, and Mecca looks at her and says, "It feels like hanging out with a best friend."
I physically cringed. Why would you say that right then?
Because his mommy issues make him terrified of intimacy. Belle showed she is emotionally available and resilient, and his brain immediately panicked.
So you think he is just using her to boost his ego?
100%. He wants the validation of her affection, but he is preemptively friend-zoning her so he doesn't get hurt. He's pushing her away before she can abandon him.
Ugh, that makes so much sense, but it is so unfair to Belle. She deserves someone who is fully ready.
Well, speaking of people who aren't ready, let's talk about the cringe cuddles of Courtney and Nick.
Oh my goodness. Their session with Dr. Lisa was excruciating to watch.
Nick is sitting there, genuinely hurt, saying he feels a total lack of flirty warmth from Courtney.
He's wondering if she's even attracted to him at all. And then we get Courtney's confessional, where she admits the brutal truth.
That she absolutely hates cuddling with him.
She said she lies there, completely tense, literally praying for her alarm to go off so she has an excuse to get him off of her.
She compared it to waking up next to a bad one-night stand. But they are legally married.
I know. Her body is actively rejecting his presence. But instead of being honest with him, what does she tell the expert?
She blames the espresso machine.
I yelled at my television. Dr. Lisa asks what her biggest turnoff is, and Courtney says it's that Nick isn't a handyman because he couldn't figure out how to use the Breville espresso maker.
It is the most unhinged excuse I have ever heard. She is completely faking it, saying they are compatible, while secretly being totally repulsed by him.
I mean, yes, it's fake, but I try to have empathy because she did mention she didn't have affectionate role models growing up. Her parents never hugged or held hands.
Okay, but you can't blame your parents for everything.
True, but if your baseline for touch is 0, someone constantly trying to cuddle you is going to feel suffocating.
Sure, but she still lied about the coffee machine. And then Dr. Lisa suggests they try non-sexual, high-flirtation touch to break the ice.
Like just touching his leg or arm. And Courtney completely spirals into an overthinking panic.
She is frantically asking, how long do I touch his leg? When do I move my hand?
It was so sad. If you are attracted to someone, you don't need a stopwatch to pat their knee.
Exactly. The chemistry's in the negatives. But if we want to talk about exhausting dynamics, let's look at the 2 a.m. exhaustion of Caitlin and Devin.
This couple is a textbook clash of the needy versus the recluse.
It started with that horribly awkward takeout dinner.
Caitlin is sitting there eating her noodles straight out of the plastic container, refusing to share, refusing to put it in a bowl.
And while eating out of a plastic box, she basically maps out a schedule of how to avoid him all day.
She lists off going to the gym, going to work, seeing friends. She basically mapped out a life for a single person.
And Devin, who is battling severe abandonment issues, is just sitting there practically begging for an energy exchange.
Which leads right into the gym misunderstanding.
Right. So Caitlin's alarm goes off at 8 a.m.
She claims Devin peeked his head up, looked at her, and then just went back to sleep. So she figured he didn't want to go, and she left for the gym alone.
But Devin wakes up to an empty apartment and feels completely, utterly abandoned.
See, this is where I agree with you, Jay. A shared Google Calendar would literally solve this entire fight. If he saw Caitlin at gym on his phone, he wouldn't panic.
A calendar fixes everything. But instead of communicating, Devin resorts to what I consider borderline emotional manipulation.
The 2 a.m. argument.
Yes, we see Caitlin in her confessional sobbing from sleep deprivation because he kept her up until 2 a.m. arguing and dissecting every aspect of their relationship over the gym incident.
It is so intense. She is crying, saying she just wants an easy relationship, and I get it. She needs decompression time, and he is just suffocating her.
But then, during the expert session, Devin does the most self-sabotaging thing possible.
Oh, when he asked her to work on her eye contact.
Yes, she gives him this nice list of things she likes about him, giving him the validation he wanted, and he stares her down and criticizes her eye contact.
I would have walked out of the room. He is never satisfied.
He is incredibly needy. But somehow, they aren't even the most toxic couple, because we have arrived at the hygiene horror.
Shawn and Nikki. I am still traumatized.
The entire internet is traumatized.
Let's start with the airport blow-up. They have the same 13-hour travel day, but it ends with Shawn calling Nikki disorganized, crazy, and aggressive.
And his reasoning for calling her aggressive was that she was towering over him. which is just absurd.
It's totally gaslighting. So they get to the apartment, and Nikki, rightfully, demands he sleep on the couch.
She refused his little therapy speak apologies, and she wouldn't even let him into the closet to get his shoes. Good for her.
But then we get the hoe bath incident. Peak Snark.
I can barely talk about it.
We watch Shawn do his nighttime routine. He takes a wet washcloth, wipes his head, arms, stomach, and back, and gets into the marital bed.
No soap. 3 minutes.
And when Nikki calls him out, flossing her teeth in pure disgust, he defends himself with a media conspiracy.
He literally claims that the media tricks people into thinking they need soap to be clean. He thinks lather is a marketing scam.
We both lost our minds watching this,
Yeah.
but what really got me is how he weaponizes that calm therapy speak while saying these insane things.
Oh, absolutely. He uses this soft NPR voice to make Nikki look like the aggressive, loud one while he is defending being a literal biohazard.
Nikki can be a difficult person, I will admit that. But in this situation, I completely pardon her.
Completely. Sharing a bed with a man who thinks soap is a scam is an absolute deal breaker. Cut your losses, Nikki.
Truly. Okay, our final couple. Tori and Felipe and the suffocating bedroom.
This one was just a roller coaster.
It starts with the wine tasting day, which was actually at Tori's old workplace, which is a little weird.
And Felipe drops 2 massive bombs. First, he admits to a history of past cheating,
Which is always a red flag, but then he reveals he is an atheist.
which clashes heavily with Tori's deep Catholic faith. That is a fundamental incompatibility.
But they kind of breeze past it because Tori drops her own heavy truth about her mom having cancer.
And her reaction to that trauma was fascinating.
Right, she completely dissociated from it. She said, quote, "It wasn't about me,"
She built a massive emotional firewall to avoid feeling the grief.
which is a survival tactic. But then they go back to the apartment and they finally have sex.
They consummate the marriage.
Yes. And 2 hours later, we see night vision footage of Tori fleeing the bedroom, clutching a pillow to go sleep on the living room couch.
She claimed the room was suffocating her, and it triggered a massive flight response.
Okay, what is your take on this?
My sarcastic take. The sex was probably just terrible, or Felipe has absolutely zero aftercare skills, and she just needed to escape him.
No, I really don't think it was just bad sex. I think it's tied to her compartmentalization. She spent the last year entirely walled off emotionally because of her mom's cancer.
So you think the intimacy overwhelmed her?
Yes. Having sex with this man forced her to be incredibly vulnerable, and it completely broke her emotional firewall. Her nervous system panicked, and she literally had to flee.
That is a very empathetic read.
Yeah.
Either way, waking up to find your wife fled to the couch is brutal for Felipe.
Okay, let's officially transition into segment 1, the marriage report card.
Rapid fire grades. A through F. Communication, chemistry, effort, emotional maturity, and long-term potential. Let's go.
Let's start with Michelle and Cameron.
Straight A's for effort and emotional maturity. They are putting in the work.
I give them an A for long-term potential, too. That just seems solid.
Fine, but they get a B for entertainment value. Next, Adam and Marissa.
I am giving them an F for the serial killer house. I cannot look past it.
I will give them a generous C for chemistry, only because they seem to be trauma bonding over that terrifying jet ski ride. But overall, a D.
Fair. What about Belle and Mecca?
I give Belle an A for communication, but Mecca brings the couple's average down to a B.
And I have to give them an F for a long-term potential. Mecca's unhealed mommy issues are just too deep right now. He isn't ready.
Agreed. Okay, Courtney and Nick.
F across the board.
Absolute F. The chemistry is in the negatives. She is literally praying for an alarm clock to save her from cuddling.
It's tragic, Caitlin and Devin.
D for communication. Zero eye contact and fighting until 2 a.m. completely kills their emotional maturity grade.
Yeah, that 2 a.m. argument really drags them down. Okay, Shawn and Nikki.
Z minus.
Is that even a grade?
It is now. F for hygiene, F for chemistry, F for communication. Just fail them out of the class.
Fully agree. And finally, Tori and Felipe.
I'll give them a C for chemistry because they actually did the deed.
But an F for communication because she immediately fled to the couch without explaining why.
Spot on. Let's move to segment 2, Couples Therapy Corner. We are going to pinpoint their biggest issues and give some brutally honest advice.
Okay, Michelle and Cameron. Their biggest issue is honestly just external noise.
The conversation they need to have is basically, let's ignore everyone else.
Exactly. My advice to them, if they were my friends, keep doing exactly what you're doing and do not let the other couple's toxic drama drag you down.
Good advice. Adam and Marissa. The biggest issue is obviously the living situation.
The conversation they need to have immediately is, can we please buy some real furniture?
And maybe some actual windows. My brutal advice, Marissa, don't compromise on your cat allergy, and Adam, sell a jet ski and buy a bed frame.
Yes. Okay, Caitlin and Devin. Biggest issue. The needy versus avoidant dynamic.
The honest advice here is simple. Devin, let the girl go to the gym in peace.
And Caitlin, put down your phone, stop making schedules, and look at your husband when he talks to you.
Nailed it. Courtney and Nick.
Their biggest issue is utter repulsion.
My advice to Courtney?
Yeah.
Just admit you aren't attracted to him.
Yeah.
Stop blaming the poor espresso machine.
Yeah.
It is innocent in all of this.
Seriously, free the breffel. Okay, Shawn and Nikki. Biggest issue. SOA.
The conversation they need to have is a trip to Target to buy some Irish Spring.
My brutal advice to Nikki. Cut your losses. This is toxic, and you cannot fix a man who won't wash his own legs.
Preach. Last one, Tori and Felipe. Biggest issue is that massive vulnerability hangover.
My advice for Tori. You need to tell him exactly why you ran to the couch right now before he internalizes it as rejection.
Communication is key. Okay, time for segment 3, red flag or just nervous.
We take the biggest moments and categorize them. First up, Caitlin wanting an easy relationship.
Genuine red flag. Marriage actually takes work. She wants a roommate who ignores her, not a husband.
I have to agree. Next, Tori fleeing to the couch after sex.
This is a sign the experts need to intervene immediately. Fleeing your marital bed in a full-blown panic is way beyond just wedding day nerves.
Yeah, that requires professional unpacking. What about Shawn's 3-minute soapless wash?
Genuine red flag
Race.
and a literal biohazard.
Totally. Okay, Courtney panicking over how long to touch Nick's leg.
I think this is a misunderstanding, mixed with just deep-seated intimacy nerves.
I agree it's nerves, but it points to a much deeper issue. Finally, Adam's ice picks and tarps.
Genuine red flag. Someone needs to call the true crime podcasters immediately.
Let's wrap it up with segment 4, Decision Day Delusions. Let's make some chaotic predictions.
Who has the best chance of making it?
Honestly, Michelle and Cameron, they're boring in the absolute best, most functional way possible.
True. And heading for disaster. Shawn and Nikki. The resentment over the soap is fully baked in at this point.
Fully baked. Now, what is the biggest surprise relationship prediction?
Tori and Felipe. Hear me out. If they can somehow survive the atheist-Catholic divide, the cheating past, and the post-sex panic attack, they just might trauma bond their way to a yes on decision day.
That is a wild prediction, but I can actually see it. Okay, I want your completely ridiculous prediction that somehow feels possible.
Here we go. Adam makes Marissa sleep on the jet ski. Courtney finally touches Nick's arm, but panics and accidentally breaks it. And Shawn invents a new brand of body wash that is just bottled air.
I am crying. The bottled air body wash is too real.
It's all a conspiracy, babes.
Oh my goodness. Well, to our Snark squad listening, we need you to weigh in. Are you team cake or team biscuits for strawberry shortcake?
It better be cake.
Yeah.
Also, what is the weirdest place you have ever been unexpectedly called out by name?
Yes, let us know. And tell us which couple you are still actively rooting for, if any of them.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over.
Let's hear it.
Think about what we watched this week. Does the accelerated pressure cooker timeline of reality TV dating actually trigger deep-seated childhood trauma responses, like Tori's flight response or Devin's abandonment panic that would normally stay hidden for months in real-world dating?
Ooh, that's heavy.
Are these love experiments actually just televised stress tests for the human nervous system?
Honestly, yes. When you strip away the buffers of normal dating, the masks fall off in days, and it just becomes a psychological combat zone.
Food for thought. Thank you all for listening to A Spiral today.
Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another reality TV-loving babe.
And until next time.
Stay hopeful, stay cozy, and we'll see you on the Snark side.